Hello, and welcome to this course, Scoring in the SJCC Pairs Scoring. I'm Dave Walter, I'm your tutor. I'm part of the SJCC management team. My area of focus is under 16s and upwards. I'm also chair of the Surrey Association of Cricket Officials, and so we look after umpires and scorers within the county. Sarah Lynch is the main lead contact. She's the competitions officer and her details are there. As a scorer, your normal contact would be Martin Holloway-Neville, who's the County Scorers Officer, and his details are at the bottom of the screen. We're available to be contacted should you so desire. As part of its ethos, the Surrey Junior Cricket Championship aims to develop umpires and scorers. This module is part of a set of modules that we've put together to help develop scorers. There are 4 modules in the set. We talk about them being snack size because they're a bit bigger than bite size, but the idea is that you can do the ones that you feel appropriate. The first one, the overview, covers basic scoring, interaction with umpires, all the mechanics and how you would collect information as a scorer. And then the other 3 deal with how you would record that information in particular scenarios. So this module, pairs scoring, looks at scoring for a pairs match. The third module looks at scoring on the Play Cricket Scorer app. And on that, you can score either a pairs match or a normal match, a full open match. It is the way we would recommend you learn to score. So if you're new to scoring, I would strongly recommend you consider learning how to score on the app. It's both more intuitive and has the benefit that at the end of the match, the result can be automatically uploaded to the club's website. It doesn't require anybody to translate the score and retype it onto the website. The last module is scoring, full scoring, so scoring an open cricket match on a full scorebook. We also have a set of complementary training for umpires. As I say, we're looking to develop umpires and scorers. What are we trying to do with this course? We want to give you the confidence to score pairs matches. It's not that complicated, although it might seem a little bizarre, particularly if you're not familiar with cricket. We're confident that pretty much everybody can learn quite quickly how to score in a pairs match, and there's no substitute for actually practicing once you've learned the basics. We'll talk a little bit about how Surrey Junior Cricket Championship cricket is different to what you see on TV, and we'll look at other training options at the end. Just a quick review of the types of scoring. An umpire will keep score. They'll have a simple tally counter. They'll record the runs at the end of the over, and on the flip side, they'll record which bowlers bowled which overs. We're looking at pairs scoring, so we'll look a bit more in detail at this pairs scoring sheet, which is very structured because pairs cricket is very structured. The other paper form of scoring is the full score sheet. A lot more boxes, a lot more opportunity to record information in detail, slightly more bemusing because of that, but a scorebook completed by a competent scorer can be read and can tell the whole story of the match in quite extreme detail if all the boxes have been filled in the way they were designed to be filled in. Looking at electronic scoring, there's the PCS app, which sits on a phone and a tablet. It very much benefits from the limited screen on the phone and tablet, so it doesn't bewilder you with lots of information, and is very straightforward in terms of most of the action buttons are here and they have a label in them that links to what's gone on. Paper scoring, typically you record the same piece of information more than once. Electronic scoring, you just press a button and that's it, done. The advanced level of electronic scoring is PCS Pro, which sits on a laptop. The engine behind it is much the same, but it uses the bigger screen space to display more information to you and allow you to record more detail. Although the wagon wheel where the batters have actually hit the ball is available on the PCS app as well. Both of these forms, the electronic forms, allow coaches to extract information from the result at the end of the game. Helps them understand how their players are playing and helps them think about tactics that they might use in the future. Quick reminder of your duties. As a scorer, your job is to accept the umpire's signals, to acknowledge them, to record them, and to check with your colleague to make sure you've both got the same score. The idea of having two scorers is you're cross-checking each other as you go along. So when you get to the end of the innings, there's an agreed score rather than two different scorebooks with different numbers on them and a debate as to what the score is for that particular innings. Checking is a key part of ensuring that you've got the same score. So typically a scorer may say 4 to Smith as they write it in the book, or 3 off the over making 20 as they're recording the end of over details. But also they'll check at the end of the over, fall of wicket, at any intervals and interruptions, and particularly at the end of the innings, to ensure that they at least have the same headline score, and ideally all of the details are the same as well. So, pairs scoring. I talked about a pairs score sheet being very structured. Here you can see the two halves of a pairs score sheet. The top half is the batting half, the bottom half is the bowling half. Each pair of batters have their names put in here. Each row corresponds to the balls that that particular batter faced. So these are the deliveries that Rose faced. We know that the pair are going to bat for 4 overs, which is 24 deliveries. So we have 4 blocks of 6 across the top. There is a slight vagary in the last over. There might be extra deliveries, which is why this bit is tucked on the end. Similarly, we know each bowler is going to bowl just 6 deliveries in over, except possibly in the last over. So it's very easy to have a very controlled and structured score sheet for recording information. So on the batting section, as I say, each pair bats for 24 balls. The ball is recorded against the facing batter. So looking at this, I can see that Rose faced the first 2 deliveries, and then Tulip the third, 4th, 5th, etc. Tulip faced the last ball of that over, so they change ends. So Rose faced that. So there should be 1 symbol in each column for the pair. If the batter's out, they don't face the next ball. So as you can see here, Tulip is, well, I can tell you that Tulip was out here, therefore the batters changed ends and Rose faced the next ball. And after the 4 overs, you can actually add up what's gone on for that pair. So this is the runs for the batter. This is any extras that were scored while they were facing, and this is the number of times they were out. And that allows us to record the total at the end of that 4 overs. From a bowler's point of view, each bowler bowls 6 deliveries. At the end of the over, we have totals we can record, runs, the extras in the over, any wickets, the net change to the score, and then the current total at the end of that over. We also have the ability at the end of the innings to calculate the totals. One of our key cross-checks at the end of the 4 overs that a pair bats is this number the same number that comes up from the batting numbers? It should be. Smash It, the girls' form of the game, is very similar. It's slightly shorter, so it's a slightly different but structured score sheet. So you get all of the match on the page. You get an innings on 1 half. So you record the 2 batters. There's just 6 deliveries, so you don't record which batter received those deliveries. There's a point to summarise what happened at the end of each over, and to summarise what happened at the end of each pair's batting. And the reason we do that is in Smash It Cricket, there's a bonus point pair to pair. So the first pairs, Rose and Tulip for Merton, scored 215 or scored 15. And the French and Bolger for Oxted only scored 1. So in this match, Merton get a bonus point because their pair 1 scored more than Oxted's pair 1. Symbols, these are the things you would record on the score sheet. If the batter score runs off the bat, then it's simply the number of runs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If nothing happened, then you put a dot in the delivery so that you know that that delivery has been bowled and everybody knows that nothing of any interest happened on that. There are two ways that the team gets credit for runs that the batters don't for them running up and down. One is a bye, where the ball doesn't touch anything and the batters run. And there are two possible symbols here, the triangle or the letter B. And if there are multiple runs, you can optionally put inside the triangle or next to the B the number of runs that came off of that bye. Similarly, leg byes is an inverted triangle or the letter L with the optional extra numbers, digits. Then you get two types of illegal delivery. So a wide ball is a ball not bowled close enough to the batter. The symbol for the wide is a cross. If the batters make runs off of that, then you add dots in the corners of the cross to indicate how many. So the cross is the penalty, which in pairs cricket is 2, and the dots are the actual runs. So this is a penalty for the wide of 2, and a dot, that means that's actually 3 wides. Similarly, that's 6 wides. A batter can be stumped off a wide, so you might need to record the wicket as well as the wide. Quite unusual. The next thing is the bowler didn't bowl a legal delivery for one of many reasons. And then what you do there is you put the normal symbol down. So if it's runs, a 4, if it's 4 byes, B4, and then you put a circle around it. So the circle is indicating that it was a no ball. The contents of the circle are the other actions that occurred. So it might be a dot, might be any of those symbols, except for a wide. A no ball supersedes a wide. So no matter how wide it is, if it's a no ball, it will be a no ball. Then we record when a batter is out. So wicket credited to the bowler is a W. You shouldn't see too many penalty runs, but possibly a fielder's discarded some equipment, a helmet or something, and the ball hits it, then there might be 5 penalty runs. You can highlight who's captain and wicket keeper. Because a run out doesn't get credited to the bowler, we don't use the W. It's best to use an R, because that tells you that there was actually something that occurred in that ball, although historically scorers have used a dot, and then it's not always obvious which ball the batter was run out of. And then the last thing you may see, although I wouldn't worry too much about it, is underlining the symbol. And this means that the batters are at the other end to what you might expect. So in this case, there's 1 run scored, but they might have been run out going for the second, or the umpire might have signalled 1 short. This just allows anybody reading it to see, okay, that's 1, so I think the batters have changed ends, but actually the underline tells me that they didn't change ends, that they were at the other end. Just a reminder about umpires' signals. Apart from no balls and wides, an umpire will signal, will always signal to you when when the ball is dead, when there's no further action to occur. They will, with a no ball and wide, call and signal at the point it occurs, then the game carries on. It's only when the ball becomes dead are they signalling to you that you need to acknowledge, and you need to watch out for situations where there are multiple signals, 4 byes, for example, or for no ball. So they'd signal a no ball and you'd acknowledge, they'd signal the byes, you would acknowledge, they would signal boundary 4 and you would acknowledge. So, chance for you to do some practical scoring. Hopefully you've downloaded the practice score sheet, but if not, a scrap of paper will work nearly as well. So the match we're looking at is between Albury and Wood Street. It was played at Parkfield on the 5th of May 2019. So we're just filling in the header block. This is off of the practice score sheet, but yours may be different. But it's obvious the 2 teams, the location if you want to, and the date, because it's always handy to know when these things occurred. Okay, we now know that the opening batters are Rose and Tulip, and Rose will face the first ball. So we put Rose in as number 1, Tulip as number 2, and we know that Smithers is the first bowler. So we put Smithers in the bowling column. Throughout this training exercise, you might need to use the pause button. I'm going to talk a little bit slowly and leave gaps to hopefully give you time to fill things in. But if you find that I'm going too quickly, please use the pause button to hold while you make the marks that you need to make on your score sheet before things move on. Don't let the scoring run away with you, or the video run away with you. Okay, so the first over, first delivery, it's no incident or score. So we put a dot in the first ball that Smithers bowled and a dot next to the first delivery that Rose faced, or the first delivery and in Rose's row, because Rose was facing. Second delivery, the batter's run 1, and there's no signal from the umpire, so that's 1 run credited to the batter. So we put 1 in the second ball that Smithers bowled and 1 in the second column against Rose. Third delivery, the batter's run 2, and again there's no signal from the umpire, so it's 2 runs to the batter. So 2 in the third delivery of Smithers over, and now because they've changed ends, the 2 goes in the third column but against Tulip, because Tulip was the striker of that delivery. Fourth ball, batter's run 2, but the umpire signals to us in the picture, which hopefully you all know is byes. So after acknowledging the umpire, we put either 2B or 2 in a triangle against the bowler, and similarly 2B or 2 in a triangle against the fourth delivery on Tulip's row. Fifth delivery, no incident, no score. So we put a dot in the fifth delivery and a dot in the fifth delivery against Tulip. Sixth delivery, the batter's run 2, and then the umpire signals to us boundary 4. So we know that the ball has crossed the boundary and the team should be credited with 4 runs. We ignore these 2. So 4 goes into the 6th ball and 4 goes into the next delivery that Tulip faces, the 6th column. At that point, the umpire calls over, so it's time for us to add up the total for the over. So if we count the runs that are credited to the batter, these are just the numbers, or the numbers in circles. So 1, 3, 4. So we've got 7 runs to the batter. We then count the extras, those runs not to the batter. So in this case, it's just the 2 byes. We add those together, 7 and 2 gives us 9. We count up the number of wickets. There were no wickets in that over. So we calculate the runs for the over, which is the 9 runs that the side gets credit for, minus, in this case, nothing, because there were no wickets. Had there been a wicket, we might have taken away 5 or 10, depending on how many wickets, which gives us a team total of 209. Pair scoring starts at 200 for 2 main reasons. Firstly, most scoreboards can't cope with negative numbers. So if the batters had scored 3 in the over and been out twice, it's not possible to put -7 on the scoreboard. And also it's a bit demoralising for the batters to put -7. So 193 looks more positive than -7. So the scoring in pairs always starts at 200. And because this is still partway through the pairs 4 overs, we don't do anything in the batting row. So hopefully your end of over looks like that. And you check with your fellow scorer to make sure they've got the same answer. Okay, second over. Tulip faced the last ball of the first over, so Rose should be facing this delivery. And we've got the bowler as Jones. First ball, the batter's run 1, and the umpire signals as in the diagram, which hopefully you all know is a leg bye. So we need to record 1 leg bye, which we do either with an inverted triangle or the letter L. Second delivery, the batter is bowled. So we record a W in both the batting and the bowling section, or the bowling and the batting section as it's written. The umpire should make the batters change ends, so Rose should now be facing the next delivery. Third delivery, ball goes to the boundary and the umpire signals boundary 4. Fourth delivery, there's no incident or score. Fifth delivery, the batter's run 1 and there's no signal from the umpire. Sixth delivery, the batter's run 2 and there is no signal from the umpire. The umpire calls over. Okay, well after that over, I've just had my tea interval, but we'll carry on with the game. So, at the end of that over, your batting should look like this, with the leg by, the wicket, 4.12, and your bowling, same symbols. Interestingly, 7 off the over again, just the 1 extra this time, making 8. There's a wicket this time, so we need to do 8 minus 5 gives us 3. We add the 3 to the 209 to get to 212. And we check with our fellow scorer. Third over, bowled by Smithers. Tulip faced the last ball, so Rose should be facing. First delivery, batter's run 1, and there's no signal. Second delivery, batter's run 2, and there's no signal. Third delivery, the umpire calls and signals no ball, but there's no other action. So we record the dot for the no action inside the circle for the no ball. Something not dissimilar to that. Fourth delivery, no incident or score. Fifth delivery, umpire calls and signals wide ball and there is no other action. So we record the cross symbol for a wide. Sixth delivery, batter hits the ball in the air and is caught. And the umpire calls over. So hopefully, and I've just cut and pasted my shape, my third over, 1 to Rose, 2, no ball, dot, wide and wicket. Same in the bowling, which this time gives us 1, 2, 3 runs off the bat. 2 for the no ball and 2 for the wide, so that's 4 extras, giving us a total of 7. There's 1 wicket in the over, 7 minus 5 is 2, so the score goes from 212 to 214. We check with our fellow scorer, who's got the same information. Fourth over, Hartley is the bowler, so we've got a new bowler. Tulip was out off the last ball, so Rose should be facing. First delivery, batter's run 2, and there is no signal. Second delivery, batter's run 1, and there is no signal. Third delivery, umpire calls and signals no ball, and there's no other action. Fourth delivery, the batter is bowled. Fifth delivery, no action and no signal. Sixth delivery, batter's run 1 and there is no signal. The umpire calls over. So hopefully your batting looks like that. And now because the batters have had their 4 overs, we can total up the batter's view of the world. So if we look along rows, there's 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 runs. There's just the 1 leg by, so 1 extra. And Rose was not out, so no wickets. Tulip, 2, 6, 8, 10, 10 runs, 2 byes, 2 more for no ball, making 4, 2 for the wide, making 6, 2 for no ball, making 8. So 8 extras, and 1, 2, 3 times he was out. They were out. So we've got 21 runs off the bat, plus the extras, 22, and 8 makes 30. 3 wickets, 3 fives are 15. 30 minus 15 is 15. So from a batting point of view, we think the score is 215. If we look at the bowling, and fortunately, because I've done my homework, the bowling total also adds up to 215. 4 off the bat, 2, 1, 1. 2 extras for the no ball, making 6. 1 wicket, 6 minus 5 is 1. So 1 more added to the total. So that's the end of our first pair. Check with our fellow scorer, we're all happy. So we're now to our next pair. The next pair of batters are French and Bulger, with Thompson as the bowler. We're now getting to a point where I'm going to move through the deliveries more quickly for those of you that are running more quickly. For those of you that are not, please use the pause button and have a look at the details at the end of the over. So 5th delivery, Thompson's the bowler. 5th over, Thompson's the bowler. 1st delivery, no incident, no signal. 2nd delivery, the batter hits the ball but is out, caught. 3rd delivery, batter's run 1 and there is no signal. 4th delivery, the batter is stumped. 5th delivery, ball goes to the boundary and the umpire signals boundary 4. 6th delivery, no action except the umpire signals a wide ball. Sixth over, Jones is the bowler. Batters run 2 off the first ball with no signal. 2nd delivery, no incident or signal. 3rd delivery, striker is run out attempting a single. 4th delivery, batters run 1, umpire signals bye. 5th delivery, no incident or signal. 6th delivery, no incident or signal. Umpire calls over. 7th over, bowler is Thompson. 1st delivery, no incident or signal. 2nd delivery, no incident or signal. 3rd delivery, the batters run 3 and the umpire signals leg byes. 4th delivery, no incident or signal. 5th delivery, no incident or signal. 6th delivery, batters run 2, umpire signals bye. Umpire then calls and signals over. We're going to do 9 overs, I think it is, through normal play, and then we'll jump to the 20th over. So if you're feeling comfortable, you can scroll forward to the 20th over, but I would recommend that you look at the 20th over because it has some unusual features. 8th over, bowler is Green. Batters try to run 2, the striker is run out at the keeper's end. So they get credit for the first run, and we put the R in for the run out. So we record 1 R. 2nd delivery, no incident or signal. 3rd delivery, no incident or signal. 4th delivery, batter hits boundary 4. Fifth delivery, batter hits a boundary 6. Sixth delivery, no incident or signal. So that's the end of that pair of batters. We've got 2 new batters, Broad and Anderson, and Jones to bowl the 9th over. First delivery, no incident or signal. Second delivery, no incident or signal. Third delivery, no incident or signal. Fourth delivery, batters run 2 and umpire signals leg byes. Fifth delivery, umpire calls no ball and the batters run 2. Sixth delivery, no incident or signal. So we've now got 9 overs worth of cricket played. Here's the bowling analysis that aligns up with the scores that you've seen. And here's the batting analysis lining up with the scores that you've seen. So a second check for a pair of batters reaching the end of their 4th over. Not going to go through it in detail here. Please take your time using the pause button to have a look at what they should have been and what you've got, and try and work out if there are any differences. Okay, that then leaves us the last over, the 20th of over, and we're going to jump to that because there's slightly different sequence of events in the 20th of over. So in the 16th, 17th over, Burns and Curran became the new batters. And then in the 20th over, the first delivery, the umpire calls and signals no ball, the batters run 2, and then the umpire signals no ball followed by bye. So we need to record a no ball and 2 byes. Second delivery, no incident or signal. Third delivery, batter hits the ball and umpire signals boundary 6. Fourth delivery, umpire calls no ball, batter hits the ball, and the umpire signals no ball and boundary 4. Fifth delivery, no incident or signal. Sixth delivery, no incident or signal. Seventh delivery, batters run 2. Now we've got more than 6 deliveries because there has to be 6 legal deliveries in the last over, so no balls and wides are re-bowled. So this is where you should be using the overflow area in your score sheet. Eighth delivery, umpire calls and signals wide ball, but there's no further action. Ninth delivery, the batters run 3. At that point, the umpire calls over, and that's the end of the innings. So if you look down here, this is the bowlers section of the 20th over. So we've got 2 byes in a no ball, on a no ball, dot, 6, 4 on a no ball, dot, 2 in the overflow, wide, and 3. So that gives us 2, 8, 10, 12, 15 runs off the bat. 2 for that no ball, 2 for that no ball. Oh, sorry, two for that no ball plus 2 byes, so that's 4. 2 for that no ball is 6. 2 for that wide is 8. So 8 extras. 15 and 8 is 23. No wickets in that over. I'm pretending the score was 275 the over before, so I've now got a total of 298. Again, use the pause button to have a look at that if you need to look at it in a bit more detail. The batting sheet again, 6 deliveries in the usual place, and then the overflow deliveries in the bottom line. So I can't strictly tell which batter faced those deliveries, although I can by following it through because they're even numbers. So Actually, Roy faced all 9 deliveries in that last over, and so I can total up the information that I've got. So that's our practice exercise using a pairs score sheet. Hopefully you found that useful. I'm not obviously available online for questions, but if you have any questions, please email me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions at whatever point you discover them. That's the end of this particular presentation. As I mentioned earlier, I would recommend you had a look at the presentation with using the PCS app, because I think that's a good way to score. You might want to do it now you've done the paper exercise, just to see the differences and see how much easier or more difficult you find it. And just leaves me to thank you for your attendance and to wish you well.